Alrighty, so where are we now?
Right now we're in Estero Bay, right off of the end of our canal, maybe 500 yards at most. This is where I think it's called the West Mooring Field ends, and we're beginning to approach the East Mooring Field. They have about 70 mooring balls, and they plan to build, I think it's 19 more, and the 19 more will be north or west of the bridge.
Okay.
I'm guessing in the future they're probably going to want to build more mooring balls. And we think the mooring balls are great. I just did a 977-mile trip in my brother's boat from New Bern, North Carolina to Cape Coral at 8 miles an hour.
How long did that take you?
It took us 2 weeks.
Wow.
14 days of sailing or motoring at least 10 hours a day. So we're used to finding places to moor, to anchor, marinas to rent it's called a transient slip for the night, and use their toilets and showers and maybe go to their restaurants. I mean, it's not something new to me, and so we're not against the mooring field. We think the mooring field is a great idea. One thing I would like to see is that they offer free pump out to boats paying to be in the mooring field.
Mm-hmm.
Other boats have to pay $5. I'd like to see them make that free. Go to all the boats that are anchored in the back bay. Mm-hmm. Anybody who wants a pump out, I mean...
Why so?
Well, you want to remove the temptation
Make it
to
as easy as possible.
Open your spigots and pollute the bay.
Gotcha.
Make it easy.
Yeah.
$5, not going to make a difference.
Right.
A bunch of waste, human waste, in the bay back here, that makes a difference. So why not make it free? I mean,
right.
You know, it just makes sense.
Now, Larry, tell us how you found out about the building and how you rallied the neighbors on your street to support what you guys are fighting for.
Well, that was kind of weird. An unsigned note appeared in all our mailboxes up and down the street. We don't know who wrote it, but someone said, "Did you know this is coming to your neighborhood?" Well, we started looking into it, and immediately, virtually every house, I think but one, on this side of the street, coalesced into a group. The wonderful thing about that is I really got to know our neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes you get insular. When we had kids, we were forced to know our neighbors because our kids played with kids. But we don't have kids, you know, of that age anymore. And so it immediately, everybody coalesced then into a unified group. And then the neighbors on the other side of the street joined us. And then people concerned with how much money the town was spending. You know, $3 million is, to me, an outrageous amount of money to build a facility like this. The town did a study and said they could put 2 trailers in the parking lot at Salty Sam's if they don't have showers and laundry machines, and they would cost $166,100. That's a lot less than $3 million.
Mm-hmm.
And sure, they say it's grant money, but let's be realistic. Grant money is tax dollars, just delivered in another way. And maybe you say, well, it's free money. It's not free money. It's not. It's my tax dollars. It's your tax dollars. It's our tax dollars. So, the idea that they're going to apply for the grant, and they're going to do it next week. It has to be done by April 1st. Otherwise, you lose it for another year. There's no harm in taking your time. There is adequate facilities in the center of town now. And our Anchorage Committee, and actually the other good thing is I'm really learning how this town government functions. I was familiar with town government in Worcester, Massachusetts, where I'm originally from, having served 10 years on the zoning board there.
Okay.
And so we went to the Anchorage Committee meeting, I believe it was Wednesday, and we heard from them, very passionate, that they're not in favor of this location. They sent over 2, 3, 4 other locations that they thought were much better. They had better access, better services, would cost the town less money. And for some reason or other, and I'm still watching some of those old town meeting videos, which are brutal sometimes to sit through.
Tell me about it.
And I'm still reading them, listening to them, and I'm mystified why this is the most expensive option with the least amount of access and the longest long-term operating costs. I'm a businessman. This to me is, I mean, I hate to say it's nuts, but it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make dollars and cents. It doesn't make common sense.
So before we get down the canal, Larry, this building just can't find a home, being that the first shot at it between Nervous Nellies and Snug Harbor got squashed by the neighborhood as well. Mm-hmm. The building has to go somewhere, I believe, because by law they have to have it, or you couldn't have the mooring field. So explain to the people before we go down there, why not this spot? Why not down a canal that gets you close to town hall and gets you on a property that the town might be able to manage so close to one of their other facilities?
First let's mention manage. Gloria and I, my wife Gloria and I, on last Sunday, went to the town docks in the center of town. There were 19 dinghies tied up there, and at least 10 of them were in clear violation of the posted rules. So you talk about monitoring it, it's a hard...
What does that mean?
Well, there's a sign that says no dinghies over 10 feet.
I see.
I counted. There were 10 of them, of the 19, over 10 feet, clearly in violation. And I only bring that up, not that they should kick those people out or enforce that rule, but you got a rule, you can't enforce it. Simple rule like that, how do you enforce people using this? So, according to the town estimates, an average of 10 people a day, it's an average, will use the facilities. That's 10 trips down and 10 trips back. You add to that the additional people for the additional mooring balls that are going to go in this summer. Mm-hmm. You add to that town use. The town boat will go up and down once, twice, 3 times a day, whatever it may be. And you add to that the people who are anchored here, who are using the town dinghy dock. When I say anchored, I don't mean in the mooring field. There are hundreds of boats around here, north of the bridge, west of the bridge, and east of the bridge, that are just anchored.
Right.
They're right out here. They're out of the channel. They're anchored. So we estimate that 10 boats a day, which is 20 trips, that's 7,300 trips a year, annually, right by our back door. It could be 3, 4, 5 times that, and that's not exaggerating, especially on a busy weekend. Mm-hmm. So that's 30,000 trips a year. That's a lot of boats going right by our back door. Out here in the back bay with miles and miles of open water and stuff, it's to absorb that is insignificant. In our back bay, to absorb it in our canal, to absorb it in a 30-foot wide canal, you're looking at I don't know, it's a half a mile wide, mm-hmm. or more, not 30 feet. I got to get back out of the shore there. We don't run aground. So it doesn't make any sense. And we're going to end up with, on a busy weekend, I would guess 80, 100 boats. They're going to have to build dinghy docks up the yin-yang. They're going to have to cut the mangroves.
Is that 100% sure that they're going to have to cut the mangroves?
I'll show you.
Okay.
In my opinion, yes.
All right, let's start heading down that way and check it out. And so you said it's 30 feet wide. How deep
Approximately.
is it? How deep is it?
Well, right now we're 2.5 to 3 feet at most in the center of the canal.
Gotcha.
We're at low tide. You'll be able to see that. A lot of the canal is mud. Sometimes we get super low tides, as we did last Sunday, and the last 50, 100 feet approximately, maybe 200 feet of the canal, which is where they want to build, was just pure mud. By my estimate, as I said before, I'm not a hydraulic engineer or a naval engineer, but you know, I'm a licensed professional contractor, maybe in another state, and numbers speak to me. So I've estimated that they might take out as many as 10,000 cubic yards of mud to make this work.
Who's going to pay for that, and how much you think it'll cost?
We're going to pay for that. The taxpayers in Fort Myers Beach are going to pay for that. Maybe they say it's going to go on the grant.
On the grant.
Well, you know what? The taxpayers of Florida will pay for that.
Right.
Maybe they get a federal grant. Our U.S. taxpayers will pay for that.
How big is the pump out boat, and how deep does that canal need to be in order to get the pump out boat back and forth?
By my estimate, the pump out boat is 3 feet deep.
Okay.
So at this point in time, the pump out boat could not access fully this canal. Maybe they could get most of the way down it in the center, but it would be a challenge.
All right, I'm going to flip around here so everybody can see. I don't want to tip the boat. What we're doing here. So
here we are entering the canal. As you can see, mangroves to our right. One of only 2 canals that I'm aware of on Fort Myers Beach that have intact mangroves.
by the way, I don't know how you put up with this weather down here in this scenery. So I know you're roughing it also.
Bug spray, suntan lotion,
yeah,
good sense of humor. So here we are entering the canal. You can see to our left houses. To our right,
Tropical Shores Way, right?
Yeah. One of the wonderful things about these mangroves, you can see there's a lot of oysters and other growth under there. The small fish come and breed under there. It's a protected shallow area. You'll see them especially as the tide begins to go up. The larger fish will come in and eat the smaller fish. And then the next thing you know, the dolphins come down the canal and chase them to the end of the canal and have lunch. It's just a wild experience. It's a wonderful, it's Disney World Live. And then we will on occasion get manatees. We always have mullets jumping. People fish back here. There's a lot of wildlife in these mangroves. I believe I measured it's about 1,200 feet long, plus or minus, and maybe 500 feet wide.
Now, who owns the water?
Who owns the water? Well, I could say something silly like God owns the water.
Okay.
But I believe you're allowed to use the water as part of your canal access. Certainly not, I have to say, I don't have all that information. It's a good question. Who owns it? But we all own it. It's all part of the people of Fort Myers Beach in Florida. And sure, you're going to say, well, the dinghy dock people can come down here, but it's just impractical. Access to, as part of this project, I did some research on my own. I was able to identify 27 other locations that might be more, that are more appropriate for this. And it might be hard to make them work. Take Bowditch Point, for example. It's owned by the county.
Right.
Dinghy docks, showers, toilets, buildings are there. If we added, and they have a building for it, you add washer and dryer, plenty of parking, by the way, share the cost with the county. Imagine how much we would save. Not only most of the $3 million of construction, the cost every day to clean the toilets, to monitor the bathrooms, to provide water, electricity, heating, ventilating, air conditioning. In addition to the toilet facility here, they also want a gathering facility. So, we're going to have a lot of people hanging out.
I see.
And I could see on a busy day, literally 80 or 100 boats going up down here.
What do you mean a gathering facility? Like
it's posted in the town notes. They want to place an outdoor place for boaters mooring.
Oh, okay.
Or anchored, because you can't stop somebody from coming there.
Maybe like a little pickleball court or shuffleboard or...
A lot of that is available at Bay Oaks, which is
right.
A couple streets over, and it's wonderful. Including pickleball and tennis and gym and all that stuff.
And so we're headed down now to the end of the canal where the property is, and that's behind Town Hall.
Right.
And Chapel Street is on the other side of these mangroves.
That's correct.
And there were some people also at the meetings that are concerned.
Right.
Seems mostly Tropical Shores Way, but there are some people over there on Chapel Street also concerned about the boats.
It's a lot of traffic by our back door.
Yep.
It's a commercial use in a residential neighborhood. And some people say, well, it's an institutional use. the town is in the business of renting mooring balls, and they want to provide this service. And by the way, I think they should, but not here. This is a residential neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe if they change the zoning on the land, that's a disingenuous way to say, oh, it's not a residential use, it's commercial. And, well, where's the traffic? The traffic is here. And as you see, as we approach the end of the canal, it's getting narrower and narrower and narrower.
Now, as you get to the end of the canal here, the folks that live on the end, I'm imagining, are up in
They're
arms.
apoplectic.
Okay, yeah. As you get closer and closer to the property, they're probably madder and madder.
Madder and madder, absolutely. The next to the last house, that's not the boat here on the left, but the next one are new friends of ours.
I see.
So I have the town to thank for that. But they are, unfortunately, they're back in Chicago right now, but they are frighteningly upset about this. Frighteningly. What this is doing to people's lives here, you know, it's not just a NIMBY thing. By the way, I'm not sure that's so bad sometimes, but it's realistic. It's a commercial use. Commercial use belongs in a commercial district. And people who go there to use the town services will also spend money in the businesses that are there. Now, we're beginning to get very, very shallow here. We draw.
Now, what's down here, Larry?
That's just a little bit of the mangroves that's kind of got.
Okay, you can't ride a boat through there and go.
No, I once took my paddleboard in there and kind of went through, but it's really, really tight and difficult to do.
So if I look through the trees here, this is that town hall over there? These guys working here?
Yeah, that's town hall.
Okay.
They're working on the trash thing there. As you see how tight this gets in the back here?
Oh, yeah. I'm guessing this used to be a dock here of some sort.
It used to be something, yeah. And those are a couple other lots. Those are not the town lots we're talking about. The town lots we're talking about are over here. You can see the neighbor's dinghy is virtually on mud over there.
Okay.
And again, you see that the mangroves, which are important storm and water management things.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a dumb question now, because I'm good at that. Now, these mangroves or this tree is basically coming out of the water or something?
That's
or
what mangroves do.
They come out like
you
that.
You can see over here, somebody cut them, and the roots are now, I think the word is propagating. If you want
What do you mean, cut them on the bottom like that?
Someone cut down some mangroves in here.
Okay.
And over here, they've trimmed them.
So where would the dinghies go if this thing was built?
Down here, further down the canal.
And
We're actually, I think we're running out of water. And I'm going to go paddle.
all right.
Okay? If you don't mind.
Not at all.
How about if we switch seats and I can
Sounds good to me.
row?
I'm going to watch you row. Where do you want me to sit?
You can sit back here if
All
you
right.
want.
Gotta make sure I don't fall, Larry.
Oh, don't fall. Don't
Help me out here. I'm not like an old lady.
All right. Don't fall.
There we go.
So I'll take you down as far as I can. I'm not sure. I mean, it just illustrates.
So how would the dinghies motor all the way down there?
They'd have to dredge.
Okay, they'd have to dredge the mud out of here.
You dredge the mud out of here.
Oh, there's no doubt you can see the bottom right here.
It's going to damage the mangroves.
Come on, man. Can you go a little faster? You're only 70 for crying out loud. Pick up the pace here.
Just slightly over 70. The potential for it to damage our seawalls. You know, my seawall was put in 1962, I think.
Why would it damage your seawalls?
Because you're going to take all the mud that's now supporting it away. And we have all learned, everybody here has learned how to deal with having a shallow canal at low tide. You wait.
How, you might not know the answer to this, but wow, that's nice right there.
Yeah, that's Steve
Really nice.
Cochran. Steve, and I'm sorry, I forgot his name, his wife's name.
What? How low? I mean, how thick is the mud underneath? You know, how far they would be able to.
I estimate that they would need to take out a minimum, because you have to be prepared at low tide. So we know we're not the lowest right now. This is low tide for today. But if you were here Sunday, where we are right now was mud. So in order to
this was all mud on Sunday.
This was all mud, virtually all mud. So in order to access, you know, the docks and things, you got to take out 3 feet of mud at least.
Yeah.
And you don't do all this work to take out just 3 feet.
Right.
You know, you take out 4, because it'll fill back in again over the course of a number of years.
For somebody from Massachusetts, you know a lot about a canal.
Well, I had to do a lot of work, including dredging the canal in front of my house. It was an awful job. It cost me thousands of dollars.
In front of what house?
My house on Palermo Circle.
I see.
I was at the dead end of a canal, and it was too shallow.
You couldn't even get this thing in it.
I couldn't get this thing in it, and so I ended up having to get it dredged. You know, we had to get permits from whoever you get permits from.
So now we're at the end, very end of the. Does this canal have a name? Do you call it a Tropical Shores Way Canal or something?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Should come up with a name for it to make it very emotional.
Our canal, our canal on Palermo did have a name.
And you don't have a name for this?
No,
Shocked.
it had a name that was on.
You being the mayor of Tropical Shores Way and all that. So we're
no,
down.
The mayor is Lois.
Lois is the mayor?
Longest resident here. She's owned her house for 40 years and lived here for 31.
Very nice.
She's 88 years old. And when asked about what this would mean to her, and I'm quoting her, by the way, she's a woman of few words but much thought. She said it will ruin everything. You know, her sense of security. She hurt her back, broke her back, and she's you know, under doctor's care right
Gotcha.
now.
All right, so we're at the very end now, and you can see it's quite shallow.
Yeah.
And
this is where they want to
so
put the dock.
where would they? Okay, so they put the dock on this end here or right here?
Over here to this way. I have a plan of where to put it, so I'll show you their proposed plan.
So the dinghies would line up here at the dock. They'd walk over, wash their clothes, take a shower, go to the bathroom.
Yeah, go to the Shamrock, go to the beach bar, go to Publix, leave their boats here for 2, 3, 4 hours, and then all of a sudden we've got 10, 20, 30 boats.
So I would imagine this house right here is going to be like a parking lot behind them with all those boats.
I wouldn't be happy.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not going to be happy with all these boats going by our backyard. You know, it's not what we. You know, when I bought Palermo Circle, it was noisy. I bought it knowing we were next to a commercial district.
Right. That's why you moved.
It's why we moved. That was my right, and shame on me for not realizing how noisy it would have been.
But you didn't try and stop the neighborhood from partying or playing music?
I did ask the Beach Wheel if they would close their windows when they played music at night. But how'd
that go over?
Not too well.
All right, so let's head on back and to your house. And
certainly.
So as we're going back, you getting a workout in, or feeling tired yet?
My workout is usually on my bicycle.
Nice. How far do you go?
I go from here to the south end of the island and back. And I use an electric bike, so I'm cheating a little bit.
You're cheating altogether. You're not doing any exercise.
Oh no, I keep the pace up, and I use kind of the lowest thing.
Are you riding on the sidewalk or in the road?
No, I ride in the road.
With a helmet?
No, sorry.
Larry.
I grew up. You know, my first birthday present.
I don't want to hear any excuses about the helmet.
My first birthday present I remember was my 10th birthday. My birthday's in January, so if anybody wants to send me something. But no, first birthday present I can really remember was a 3-speed Raleigh bike. As kids, we lived on our bicycles. And I love riding a bike, and we got used to riding with. They didn't have helmets in 1950 something.
No,
no,
not even those Army helmets from World War II.
They did not have helmets. Did not have helmets. I mean, for the most part, we didn't even have any supervision.
Right.
Anytime my mother was
So what
mad,
does that story have to do with you riding on Fort Myers Beach without a helmet? I have
got
no
used
idea
to
the
riding
connection.
without a helmet,
I see.
and it's hard for me to wear one, and it's stupid.
Gotcha.
I'll tell you what,
Glad
I have
you
a
admit
helmet.
it.
I'll wear it today.
I mean, if it was any other road, I'd say okay, but that's like a suicide pact on that road, Estero Boulevard right now.
Yeah, I just installed rear view mirrors on my bike, and I got to tell you, when you get old, your neck doesn't turn like it used to. So
You can see what's coming at you.
I can see what's coming at me, and you know what? I should have done it 10 years ago.
Oh, no kidding. It helps.
Yeah.
All right.
And I try to do every day. I don't often. I do miss days.
How many push-ups do you think you can hammer out right now?
Oh, none. I don't know.
None?
Maybe 3.
In a minute? 3 in a minute?
I don't know.
Come on. Girls can do more than that.
I'm getting
man.
old. I'm getting old. When I was pounding nails all day long every day, it's one thing.
Sweating
My butt off.
Yeah.
Let me just get us out of this.
All right.
By the way.
So
you can see that's town land. I think right to this point.
Yeah.
It'll
they
be
got a nice
easier
little
to
opening
see
there.
on the
What's
plan.
that white building there? Do you know?
That's the back of the church.
Gotcha. And that's Chapel by the Sea
Chapel
Church?
by the
Gotcha.
Sea,
Yeah.
And that guy's done a nice job.
Oh, yeah.
He's
yeah.
worked with the homeless
Yeah.
and stuff like
The
that.
churches down here do an awesome job with the homeless. They get criticized for it a lot, but who else is going to, I mean, they got to go somewhere.
Yeah,
Got to be helped.
There's been some awful circumstances here with the library director. And
Oh, yeah.
It just points out how important mental health services are.
Well, it is very relaxing back here and very quiet, and it's a shame that it's going to become a highway. I'm just kidding. So
It's going to look like, you know what it's going to look like? Estero Boulevard.
That's not going to be that bad.
Gridlock.
Well, gridlock.
You could have 40 or 50 boats come down here.
Think
about it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Who knows what the real number is? You never really know.
Well,
and there certainly doesn't look like there's going to be able to fit 40 boats over there in that
can't
spot.
fit the boats, but they're inviting the boaters to come here.
Yeah.
They're building a...
You think they could build a dock all the way over to
No,
here?
all the way over here is someone else's property.
I gotcha. Now, what's the process here? On Monday, there's going to be a town council
There's
meeting.
a town council meeting.
Going to have a few people there?
We hope to. Neighbors have been talking to neighbors, friends talking to friends. This is an issue that I think affects everybody on Fort Myers Beach. It's tax dollars.
Yep.
And it's tax dollars, in my opinion, that are not being wisely spent. And honestly, they're going to ruin our lives. I mean, that may sound drastic, that may sound, scare tactics, but if you look down this canal, if you turn around and look how beautiful this is a little slice of heaven. And you're inviting strangers to cruise back and forth all hours of the day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, right by our backyards, just feet from where I sleep. I sleep with the door open, listening to nature.
One of the things that I thought was interesting too, and I'm no legal expert, is that if it's built over there, they'll need to check in with a key fob, which they might get from town hall or from wherever they're managing.
That's their plan.
But and then it wouldn't be open to anybody else. So it basically becomes a private facility for about 80 people with $3 million of taxpayer dollars.
Absolutely true. And most of the boats, I would point out, in the back bay are on wet. They're wet storage. Somebody owns the boat, wants them in a good, safe place.
Yeah.
So they pay to have it there, but they're not living on it.
Gotcha.
So.
But my recollection of when they were looking at the facility at the Harbor House was that there was a debate going on back and forth about they couldn't go there because the taxpayer dollars, and it might have been city taxpayer dollars and not a grant, there might be a difference. You had to have the bathrooms open to the public. So my wonder is, how is it any different over here with taxpayer dollars and not having the bathrooms open to the public? Not that anyone would go down there, but
it's an area of the law I'm not aware of. But let's just say I have a fob and your boat are anchored in the back bay. You don't have a fob, and you come by and I'm coming out of the toilet and say, hold that door.
Yeah.
I need to go. What am I going to do? Not let you in?
Right.
Where's your fob? Is the town intending to have it monitored, staffed, physically, 24/7?
Yeah.
I mean, right now, as I pointed out, they have rules for the dinghy dock in the center of town. and you can't possibly monitor it. I mean,
Right.
let's be realistic. So I estimate at the very least $75,000 a year to maintain the facility. Probably upwards of 100 is more realistic.
In addition to the staff that's already on.
In addition, because you've got a whole facility. You have to staff that. I mean, if they want to, limit access, they say they want to limit access. Well, you want to limit access, and you want to keep people from, it says no overnight dinghy docking is one of the rules. Well, okay, what's to prevent me from bringing my dinghy down here, tying up, and going to the beach? Going to the beach pub, going to the beach bar. It's free parking.
It is.
I don't have to pay for the town. I don't have to pay anything to pull up those dinghy docks. So I could do it. I save myself having to walk all the way the length of the street.
A lot of the concerns of the residents that you heard at the Anchorage Committee was that they feel like this is being rushed through.
There's a lot of questions that have been left unanswered. I don't see any actual use. I mean, I had to dig around to hear that they think 10 people a day use the current facility, and that's just a person's estimate. Where's the numbers? Have we explored all of the alternatives? Has it all been laid out in front of the town council with the recommendation of the Anchorage Committee? And you know that they've recommended not using this site. Very clear. Whoops.
Getting a close-up look at the mangroves. That's for
Yeah.
sure. They are quite pretty. There's no doubt.
Yeah, and there's, I think, 3 kinds of mangroves. If you want to know which these are,
Ask your wife?
Ask
Yeah.
Gloria. Yeah.
Your wife is a certified, what'd you say she was?
Naturalist.
Naturalist, yeah. That's going to be a podcast from my wife and her to get together and go on a nature walk
Yeah, she
together.
does a beach walk every Thursday for the town at Newton Park.
Very cool.
An hour of standing mostly in one spot on the beach and seeing
Because she examines everything in sight.
Yeah.
So give us your prediction, Larry, before I let you go and we get back to that nice little cottage you have there. What's going to happen?
Well, I'm an optimist by nature. So I think when everybody shows up and we make reasonable sense, common sense and dollars and cents, when we make reasonable sense that the town fathers will at the very, very least, slow the process down, examine other locations in depth, and wait at the worst for a year from now to apply for the grant if they want to get the grant. But at the best, they just say, no, it's not going to be here. This doesn't make sense. And we'll go back and do the hard work, and it's work, of looking at other locations. Figure out a way to make it work. I heard there was reluctance on the part of the county. Well, you know what? Pick up the phone.
What do you mean on
the part of the county to share use of Bowditch Park?
Oh, well, the county and the town don't have a great relationship of working together,
All
but
right.
you never know.
All right,
You never know.
I'll show up. I'll get the 2 of them together and say, come on, let's talk about this.
You take my camera with you to
I'll take it.
videotape that.
I
I want to see that.
Saying
Now, as you look behind you here, you can see, I don't know what that is because I'm not a water expert. As people that watch the show know. Is it that low that there's grass coming up from, maybe it's a broken
I don't know. We're
tree
gonna
branch
find
or
out.
something?
Let's figure it out. I mean, we do get manatee down here, so I've always been under the assumption there's something for them. They're vegetarians, so they eat, seagrass.
Right. So the town council meeting is Monday at 9 o'clock.
Right.
And you're all going to use your public speaking 3 minutes to voice your concern about what's going on.
3 minutes. 3 minutes. I've been working. I probably put 25 or 30 hours into my 3 minutes. Mark Twain wrote, I would have written you a short letter, but I don't have time, so I'm writing you a long one instead.
I get it.
I hope mine is 3 minutes. I've been timing it. I think I might be a little bit over.
All right, everybody. We are going to let Larry get back to his nice canal here, and we'll have the meeting live on our Facebook page on Monday at 9 o'clock. If you want to listen to the residents from Tropical Shores Way talk about the canal behind their homes, which you just got a full tour of, and it's certainly beautiful. And the town's proposed building for the mooring field residents behind Town Hall and close to their homes here. Thanks, Larry.
You're welcome, Ed. Thank you.